Welcome to the Employment Wednesday podcast with Yvonne Shabangu. Have you heard of the scripture Hosea 4, verse 6? My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. The same applies to your career. When you don't know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, you are likely to make wrong career choices. But worry not. Employment Wednesdays is here for you to offer you all the answers relating to your career and offer you strategies to develop your career. Enjoy. Hi, everyone. You are welcome to another episode of Law Without Borders with Yvonne Shabangu. Today, I am seated with another guest, Portia Acheapong. Yeah, did I say it right?
Yeah, you're gonna get there. It's
Okay,
okay.
okay. She is an LLB graduate from the University of Johannesburg.
Yay.
It's giving UJ is a friend of the show. Like, I feel like everybody is from UJ here. She's an LB graduate from the University of Johannesburg, and she's a previous compliance administrator, and she's currently a wealth management analyst at one of the big banks. And congratulations on that. I don't know if I missed anything that you'd like the audience to know before we go into our icebreakers.
No, I think you got it. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
You're
you
a
got it.
simple person,
Yes,
eh?
very simple.
Okay. All right. That's lovely. Um, icebreaker question number one. What did you have for breakfast today?
Cornflakes. That was
Really? Are you still like a conflicts person?
I cornflakes are goated for me since I was young. I've been cornflakes girl.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to love cornflakes when I was young, but I overdid it. I was like that kid who ate cornflakes for dinner,
Same here.
breakfast, lunch,
Yeah.
and then I got over it. So do you have them with cold milk or warm milk,
Have
sugar,
to
no
warm the
sugar?
milk with sugar. So yeah, that's how I like them.
I'm disappointed. I don't know
But I
why you
don't
put
put sugar in
sugar.
Mars. No more. Yeah, I'm not that girl that puts sugar in Mars. I put
Okay.
sugar in cornflakes.
Okay. All right. Cool. And then, what was the last music album you listened to?
Is it not Beyonce's new album?
Oh,
I
really?
mean,
Are
it's on
you are you a
Spotify.
beehive?
I was before, but I feel like she doesn't do that hardcore R&B anymore. She's more
Okay.
commercial now.
Okay.
But I just wanted to see what the craze was about, so I just streamed it on Spotify, and it wasn't bad. It was actually okay.
Out
It was
of
good.
10?
Out of 10, I still need to sit down and listen to it again, but maybe a solid 7. I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, it's good. All right. So you're an R&B person.
love R&B.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. When was the last time you cried and why?
The last time I cried, I think it was not yesterday.
What?
Really, in the evening,
Okay.
because yeah, I think I was just thinking about how God has just placed such amazing individuals in my life
Okay.
and how grateful I am for that. You
All
know,
right. So it was tears of
friends.
joy.
It was tears of joy to be like, God, you're showing me your love through this individual.
Okay.
And I'm just so grateful.
All right. Okay, that's so beautiful. Okay. Now that the icebreaker questions are out of the way, we go into the real stuff. Okay, you
Alrighty.
said your surname was Ghanaian. Are you from Ghana?
My dad is, so technically I am as
Oh,
well.
nice.
So
Have you been to Ghana?
yeah, I have when I was younger. Yeah.
As an adult, you haven't been?
I haven't, to be honest. I think my dad passed in 2019, so
Oh,
haven't really been back.
okay.
Because our whole lives were here.
Okay.
So my dad is also buried here. So yeah, I
It's like,
think
okay.
maybe later on I will.
I feel like from the movies, it looks like a beautiful country.
It is a very beautiful, peaceful country.
Okay.
Very peaceful. The crime as well. It's not a lot of crime. You can just walk about. 4 a.m. in the morning, you can be outside. Like,
Really, that
literally.
is so cool.
It's a very peaceful country. Ghanaians are very peaceful people, very nice, peaceful people,
Nice. What language do they speak mainly in Ghana?
Mainly, it's like they have a lot of languages, but English and Twi.
Tree.
Yeah,
Can you speak tree?
to an extent, yes, but remember, I grew up this side and
Okay.
with my parents, my mom is Zulu. So in the house, we just spoke a lot of English.
Okay.
That was the medium of communication. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Please say happy Wednesday in tree if you can.
Oh my goodness, I don't think I can. I can say hi, Ajia.
Okay. Oh, nice. Ajia. Okay. It sounds cool. Okay. So we're going to the question. In high school, what did you want to be?
Well, in high school, to be honest, I've always been an academic, right? So I loved all my subjects, always an A student.
Nice.
So I wanted to become a doctor.
Oh.
And I remember my English teacher, Mrs. Remark, was like, she actually looked at me like, what do you want to become? I said, no, I want to become a doctor. She's like, you know what? You should become a lawyer.
Okay.
And I really was like, but why did she say this? She's like, when I look at you, I see a lawyer. And I wondered why. So when I did start applying, I applied for medicine, but I also applied for law.
Okay.
So I think God did his thing there and he was like, hey, you go this side.
Okay.
And that's how it worked. But I think when I got into law my first year, I realized, oh, okay, she was right. You know?
Okay. So you actually fell in love with it.
I did actually.
Okay,
Very
that
much
is
so.
so beautiful. And then, okay, I think you've partly answered this, but what is it that actually your teacher inspired you to study law, right? But why is it that you felt like it was important to go for law? Why did you hold her recommendation of high value? Because you could have said, I want to be a doctor. I'm going to apply for being a doctor everywhere. But you actually considered applying for law as well. What was that driving force?
The driving force behind that is that I'm a very critical and analytical thinker.
Okay.
And I fare well with theory.
Okay.
You know, I love reading.
All
you
right,
know,
nice.
and yeah, I'm a reader of notes.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay. Because when I got there, I didn't mind going through case law, you know, tons and tons of case law. Didn't mind going through a lot of chapters. I love reading, you know.
Okay.
So I think that was, yeah.
More of the driving force.
That was the
What
drive.
book are you currently reading?
Currently reading, I'm rereading Nicolette Mashile's book, The Financial Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one.
Okay,
I think
is
I
it
bought
the pink one? I also want to
It's
read
the
it.
pink one. Yeah, it is the pink one. Because I think
What's
I bought
your
it.
next move, ne? Is it called?
Yeah, that one.
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
because I think I bought it a couple of years back,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I went home for Easter, I looked at my bookshelf and I'm like, oh, let me reread this book.
Okay.
So I took it with me on the way in the taxi, and that's what I.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also want to reread it because I also bought it like sometime 2020. And when I got it, I felt like I couldn't apply. I don't like reading and not being able to apply.
Yes,
Because there was a lot of side hustling there and I didn't have any side hustling. Then I left it halfway. But I feel like now I'm in a better position to apply her tips and all of that.
Exactly.
Okay. So was law everything you expected it to be when you got in?
Okay, when I got in a way, yes,
Okay.
it was. But I think after graduation, it kind of dawned on me that I think we were taught that one-dimensional way of looking at our degrees.
Sure.
We think about, I need to get articles, I need to serve my articles, I need to, become an admitted attorney. But we weren't really taught that our degree really you can get into almost any field with a law degree.
That's true.
You
The
know?
most versatile degree
It's
ever.
very versatile, and I think I love that about the degree. It's very versatile. So I think, yeah, it was what I expected it to be, but I wish we were told more about the degree and how versatile it actually is, because you find that a lot of law students are sitting at home for years and years.
Sure.
You're trying to get articles, right? And you can't get articles. And if you get articles, they don't pay you well. And it's just a struggle. It doesn't have to be a struggle.
Sure.
I think they need to understand. They need to tell law students, say, you can go into corporate, and in corporate, you can actually earn decent money.
Sure.
You don't have to struggle on a salary of 4.5, 3.5.
Sure.
Right? You can find other avenues. And then maybe along the line, you can, eventually get admitted, You know, we do things, we don't do things straightforward.
It's not linear. It's a
not
meander.
thank
It
you.
can just
Exactly.
Yeah, true. No, I really love that analogy because you are right. I don't know if it's us, the students, or it's the institutions, or it's the government systems, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like we are taught that you're only a lawyer enough if you're an admitted attorney or an advocate, right? And which is why that's what drove me to start Law Without Borders, to sort of explore various career options in law, to say you can have an LLB degree and still go and be a journalist. True. You can go and be an actor. You can go be many other things. You can be an advisor. You can be, actually when I was looking looking at your LinkedIn profile, I was like, what? Wealth Management Analyst? What's going on here? Because also now, we all jumping into compliance, right? Everybody's like, compliance.
It's a field that's opening
it's a
up.
thing
Yeah,
right
it's a
now,
new
right?
field, yeah.
But also, I don't want us to be in a position where we fluctuate certain spaces because I feel like there's a lot other spaces that we can go into, a lot other spaces. So I really love that you raised that. It was what you expected, but you were not you were not so aware that there was more you could do, right?
Very true.
Yeah, and then also looking at articles and stuff, did you know that you needed to be admitted? Like, what was your knowledge on the whole process of admission, or you just went on and said, you know, I'm doing law, that's it?
I think, to be honest with you, in the beginning, that whole admission thing, I thought I only realized it, I beg your pardon, just for me. I realized after my first year.
Okay.
That's when I realized, oh, okay, this is what you have to, these are the steps you have to go through in order for you to become an admitted attorney. And the fact that there's actually a differentiation between an attorney and an advocate. You know, that's when you start learning. So, yeah.
Okay. And then did you start applying for articles, or you deliberately have no interest in going into practice, or did you plan your life the way it is, or are you still looking at going into articles? It's just a matter of you not finding the perfect law firm or whatever.
To be honest with you, I got articles. And
Really?
then, yeah, only like I worked for a day. I
Now
literally
you
worked
give
for
us
a
the
day.
tea. Please give us
I
the
worked.
tea.
So this other law firm. It was in Melrose, I think.
Okay.
Right. So I come to Johannesburg because I'm originally from KZN. I come to
Okay.
Johannesburg and I'm like, you know what?
Sorry to interject. Is it after your LLB?
After my
Right
LLB.
after, or
Because remember, we finished, my last year was in 2020.
Okay.
That's when COVID hit.
Okay.
Right. So we did that studying, doing the thing from home, right? And then I finished the degree, and then I had to wait until it was lower levels, right?
Sure.
So I came to Johannesburg and I'm like, you know what, let me just go door to door,
Nice.
give
Okay.
my CV, and test the waters. So I did that, and then on that same, because I was about to go home, and then the day before, I got an interview.
Okay.
And then I went to that interview, and I passed it, and they told me, you know what, you can start immediately. I was like, oh, wow, immediately.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
So then I tell my mom, like, okay, I got a job, and she's like very happy. And then I go to the firm. Oh, good Lord. And then I get there, and like I walk into, there's like an office for candidate attorneys.
Okay.
So when I get there, there's this feeling of people here are depressed.
Okay.
And then and you're excited. You're new and you're excited. And then you hear comments like, oh, that won't last long. And I'm like, oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay. And then when I walk into that office for candidate attorneys, there's like a board, like it's a whiteboard. And then on the top it says, remember the trail of your lies.
Okay.
I'm like, remember the
Trail of your lies.
What's
going on?
Aren't we supposed to be ethical?
Yes. Like, what do you mean?
And then, okay, the director comes in. And then the director comes in and he says, okay, welcome, whatever.
Were you the only person that was?
It was me and this other girl.
Okay.
It was just us.
All right.
And then I'm going through the files. And then the files were last updated maybe 4 months ago.
What?
Which is weird.
Uh-huh.
And then I asked what happened to the previous candidate attorneys. And they left. I'm like, all of them. Like, yeah. And then I'm like, okay. So towards the end of the day, the director comes in and he says that he doesn't have enough attorneys, right? Because he's got different cases, I think Palm Ridge Court, other courts, right?
Sure.
And then he says to us, he wants us to go and represent these clients. I'm like, oh my days, like what's going on now? And then I'm like, we don't have a right of appearance. Like you haven't applied for it, right? And he says, no, you just use my certificate. And then when the magistrate asks you if you have your right of, just say yes. And I said, oh no, I'm not doing this. And so he gives us the files, right? And then he gives us the files and he gives us the robes, and I'm just quiet. And I'm like, so then I call my brother and I tell my brother, because he also did a BCom law and stuff like that, and he worked for the Gauteng legislature. And he says to me, are you thinking of doing it? I'm like, no. He's like, you better not do it. It's unethical. And if you get caught, like there's serious repercussions.
You're fresh in your career.
I'm fresh, right? And then I go back home, and then my director calls me. I don't answer the phone. He calls me, and then my brother comes to fetch me, and he drives me all the way back to the firm. And I hand in the files, I hand in the robe, and I'm like, bye guys. It was nice knowing you, but I'm not doing this, right? And after that, I had another interview with quite a big firm.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the largest firms in the world, actually,
Oh,
right?
nice.
I had an interview with them, and it was an okay interview, but I felt like I didn't feel like it was a proper fit for me,
Okay.
especially culturally.
Mm.
Yeah. So I opted not to take that offer.
So
And
you
then
declined
I
that.
did actually.
Wow.
Because to be honest with you, I think a lot of, for me, I always pray for a positive working environment,
Sure.
right? And being a believer, I listen. I feel like I listen when God speaks to me.
Sure.
I could see from the interview that no, this is going to go south
Mm-hmm.
because of the way that I was spoken to.
Mm-hmm.
The lining, the way I was being questioned.
Mm-hmm.
I was questioned along. I was questioned about my religion, whether I belong to certain societies. I was questioned about my political affiliations, but more so, I could see looking at the people that worked at the firm that no,
It's not for you.
it's not for me. Like, I'm not saying that I don't. I say it's a big opportunity, but something's telling me that no.
No.
I was like, okay. And then I started applying at insurance companies and, financial service providers. And then I applied for Sanlam. I think I applied, there were like 5 open positions. It was internships. And then after that, I got interviews for 3. And then I passed 2 interviews, got 2 offers, and I picked from the 2.
Okay.
And I picked compliance.
Nice.
And I was like, and I had a good feeling about it, And I was like, and I'm like, no, I should choose this one. And I feel like let God lead you.
Wow. Your story is really so beautiful, scary, and brave. Because I feel like because of how the profession is, the legal profession is, it's so hard to find articles because people believe that articles is the truth, the way, and the end of careers in law, right? So it's so hard you having to actually decline
I did.
an offer that many people
have
want,
wanted, yes.
or pray for, right? And many people would probably judge you, say, why didn't you take the offer? I feel like that was very authentic and brave of you, sticking to your values. Because most of the times we chase titles, we chase money, all of those things. And the fact that you trusted your, I won't say gut feeling because you are a believer, I would say the Holy Spirit in you to guide you and say, you know what, this is not it. And also, I think I love that it speaks to, it's not every single thing that glitters, that is gold.
That is called very true.
And I love that you're like, okay, no, thank you. There's some person who said, I think it was Oriela. I don't know if you know her. Oriela Nxumalo. She's also in the profession doing great things. She said, in the start of your career, be selfish with yourself. Ungavumi ngawe. And I feel like your story is a true reflection of ungavumi ngawe, because also many times when we're being interviewed, we don't interview people back.
Exactly.
You just operate from desperation because you want a job, but you don't realize that that's your opportunity to actually interview these people,
Exactly.
to actually assess if you fit in culture. It is a big thing, I always say to people, for me, career is a very important part of your life because it also impacts how you show up in your family, in other relationships, and all of that. So if you are just taking it because this is what's there, you realize that you impact your whole existence.
It's true.
So I really commend you for that. And I love that also God did show up for you to say, my child. And I mean, at the end of the day, in as much as you declined it, I'm sure it hurt a bit. Would you?
It did hurt, but I think also we need to pay attention to how you're being spoken to.
Sure.
Are you being spoken to as an individual or just a means to an end? They need you to fill the position now. And we always hear stories of people being emotionally abused, candidate attorneys. I have a friend who's gone through, who's gone through that. And you can see that, no, man, no, these individuals are not nice
Sure.
people, And yeah, it's there's a lot of things going on. So you need to be protective, you need to protect yourself.
Sure.
And just have faith to say, I know God has better plans for me.
Sure.
I know God will put me in a place where I'll look back and be like, oh, but it doesn't matter now.
Sure.
So it was just that.
Yeah.
that type
So now you're applying for these internships, right? So there's a stigma apparently around internships that like it's like people don't like internships because it almost feels like hey, bottom of the barrel, right?
Yeah.
So what then pushes you to actually still apply for internships? Because other people could have said, okay, you could try other law firms or you could try applying for other real jobs. Why go for internships?
I did try applying to other law firms,
Sure.
and I hadn't really received any positive feedback.
Sure.
Right. So I applied to an internship because I feel like an internship, to be honest, we shouldn't look at them in a negative way because it's a way of learning.
Sure.
If they take you, walk in there and they'll teach you. Right.
Sure.
So that's what happened with me. I walked in, and because God is God, I walked in and my manager was absolutely amazing.
Sure.
Was a male, and it was absolutely amazing. Like, he had an open door policy. You could learn. It was. I remember my mom making comments about how I work at my grandmother's house
Because that's how comfortable it was.
Comfortable, and you would walk in, and he would share knowledge. He himself. You walk into his office, and there's so many certificates. He also went to UJ.
Oh, nice.
You walk into his office, there's so many certificates. He did that, he did this, and I'm like, and he would share knowledge. And he would tell me, he's like, no, you start here, but this is where you can go.
Sure.
And I was like, wow, I'm actually in the right place. And yeah.
And when they returned you, how did that feel like?
Thank you.
When they returned you, how did you feel? Did you feel like, oh my God, I want to stay in this longer? Or did you feel like I'm just going to accept this because this is what I have on offer? And during your internship, did you stop applying for articles and etc.? Or did you still continue applying for articles, hoping that you get something whilst you learn?
I actually stopped applying.
Nice.
I did. I stopped applying for articles. And when they did take me, because I think your work ethics says a lot.
Sure.
I think for me, I knew even before that, hey, I'm going to be retained. Because, no, man, if you have a good work ethic, they're going to want to keep you.
Sure.
So when I got the offer, I was very happy. But the problem with me is like I said, I get bored very easily.
Sure.
While I was there, I think during my internship, I asked my boss, I was like, so, because we were back office, right? We were doing compliance and whatever, making sure that the cases were, in accordance to laws and whatever. So I got to the point where I wanted to understand, what are the financial advisors doing? What is it that they do?
Okay.
I'm being told, but I want to know, like, the process.
You became curious.
I became very curious. And then I asked around, and he was like, no, there's this wealth management course. And I'm like, okay, how can I? He's like, no, we can enroll you. It's from Sanlam Academy, right? And then I started learning and understanding it from the advisor's point of view.
Okay.
And I fell in love.
So it was never part of your plan. It just became something that you became curious of within your internship.
Yes, I got so curious.
Wow.
And then I started doing research. And then from doing that research, I realized, okay, because I think after that, we changed managers, right?
Sure.
And this lady came in, and her email signature, girl,
was a poor
girl,
pig.
it was a lot. It was a lot. And she's still the head of legal and compliance.
Okay.
So I was working under her now. She, law graduate, right? And she did her articles, and then she got admitted. And then after she got admitted, she didn't stay in practice. She went straight into insurance. And then she went and she did compliance management. After that, she did CFP.
Sure.
It was a chartered financial planner.
Okay.
When I found out about that, I was like, okay, so there's another, like,
a completely different world.
And it's just the designation itself is it's very good.
Sure.
The designation itself is just, it's an esteemed, designation within the financial services industry. So I got into that you start with wealth management. So I got into that, and then I just fell in love. I was like, you know what?
This is my new love.
This is me. I'm going this way now.
So did you just tell yourself that, you know what, articles can miss me? I'm good. Or is it a thing of that you're still battling? You're like, maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Never
Okay.
say never.
Okay, cool.
Maybe
But for
one day.
now, you're happy with the route that you're taking.
I'm very happy. Very, very
Okay.
happy. Yeah.
A day in your life as a compliance intern, or after you got returned, how did your day look like? What did you get up to?
They would be heading to the office.
Okay.
We also worked a hybrid model.
Okay.
It went from 2 days in the office to 3 days in the
Okay.
office. So we'd go in, you log on to the portals, and then you take cases from the main dashboard to your dashboard.
Okay.
Cases submitted by financial planners, and then you have to assess whether these cases are compliant. If they aren't, you send them back.
Okay.
And yeah, they don't like it when you send them back because they want to
They'll
get
be
paid. They want
mad.
their commission.
Sure.
So you're the one who's, and we had a nickname. We were called the gatekeepers. And I liked it, but I didn't like it because people would hate us even more because we're the ones standing in between them and their money.
Sure.
So yeah, you'd assign cases to your dashboard and then clear that. And then after that, you would deal with emails towards the end of your day. And then 4 o'clock, close your laptop, you go home.
Okay. So what type of cases were you guys looking at compliance for? Was it like insurance cases?
Insurance cases, you have your investments.
Okay.
You've got your, there was a point in time where I worked in short-term insurance. I worked with those cases and also your life cover, But yeah, it's very interesting actually, to be honest, yeah.
So you didn't have to do, I know now a lot of people are doing like compliance courses. So you learned from the internship. You didn't have to go through a process where you do like a compliance short course or something along those lines.
Not really. For us, we learned on the job.
Okay.
It was on the job training, right? And then if you wanted to do short courses, for example, they would give you the opportunity to.
Okay.
Right. For me, I chose to do wealth management.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So others were doing their RE5s, RE1s, and others were doing postgraduate qualifications.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Then would they pay for you?
Excuse me. Yes, they would.
Oh, okay. That is so nice. Now you've done your wealth management. Where's the turning point of your career where you're like, okay, guys, bye. I know those things. Now I want to live. When do you start applying for a new job? When do you start applying for like specifically wealth management posts?
So I think I started applying a couple of months after, and this is weird. People judge me like, you. So a couple of months after I started, and I was like, you know what? This was a start, an amazing start, and I'm forever grateful for it. But
Sure.
I feel you can feel it, man. When it's time to
Move,
you can feel it, right?
Sure.
Something in you tells you, So I remember I started searching for jobs, right?
Okay.
Either in compliance, but at financial services providers, like banks and insurance companies. I'd go specifically to those career portals.
Sure.
I started looking, and then one day I think a friend of a friend, because I was working with my friend.
Sure.
And then she says, "Hey, there's actually jobs that are open at this bank." I'm like, "Okay, let me go check." And then I found like and I applied. And then I applied, and I was like, I prayed about it, and then I forgot about it.
Sure.
And the thing is, I applied in February.
This year?
Yes.
Okay.
I applied in February this year, and then it was February the 6th or something. And then I got an email for an interview on the 15th of February, just after Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, what a treat.
I had an interview, and then I think a couple of days after, they sent me documents, to verify this and to verify that, right? And then towards the end of it was a very fast process.
Wow. Okay.
And then towards the end of February, the way that it happened, it made me believe that, oh no, this is God's timing.
Yes.
And everything was, my interview itself was like 10 minutes tops.
Really?
It was supposed to be a 45-minute slot. And then it was 10 minutes. And the manager was like, "You've answered every question that, I've asked you. There's nothing else that I need from you at this point." Right? So then they sent me the offer, and then I had to resign. It happened so fast. When I think about it, I'm like, I couldn't believe it myself, But I think when it's time for something to happen, it's time.
It does happen.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So did you serve your notice?
I did. I'm a good girl. I served you.
Oh, I love that.
I
I
did.
always tell people, I'm like, dude, whatever happens, please serve your notice. Don't run away or burn bridges or anything
Don't
like
burn
that.
bridges. Yes.
Serve your notice, get paid for your leave days, your last pay, and all of that. So that even, not to say you're going to go back, but even when people see in the streets, it's not weird. You know, it's
Yeah,
not
it's not.
like,
There's no bad blood.
yes, you know, not even on LinkedIn, like when people look at you, they're not like, "Ay, that girl, when
She
she
just-
leaves, she runs," you know. Um, oh, okay, so you've also
Really?
answered my question. I wanted to ask what pushed you to do wealth management, but you actually answered it. It was like curiosity. And then what does now your day as a wealth management analyst look like? What do you guys do?
We, as a wealth management analyst, you work alongside a wealth manager.
Okay.
And wealth managers, obviously, they work with high net worth clients and deal with investments, anything to do with, um, helping those clients reach their financial goals, right?
Okay.
So what we do, we work alongside them. It's in a way, it's part compliance, part wealth management,
Okay.
in a way that everything that they need to have in terms of compliance, we need to make sure that everything they have all the documents they need when they go to the client, right?
Okay.
And then documents are now submitted for QA, which is quality assurance, right? And then only after that will the cases be pushed through.
Okay.
So we've got to check all of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys, are you also responsible for the QA?
No, QA is a separate department,
Okay.
but we work alongside QA. Meaning,
Okay.
if we make mistakes, the case is gonna get rejected, and that's a whole different story. That no
Okay.
one that's the process no one wants to deal with.
Okay.
So we need to make sure that our wealth manager, everything that he submitted, because sometimes they also reject cases because of proposals.
Okay.
The proposal that you give to your client and saying, okay, as per our meeting, as per the financial needs analysis, as per this, as per that, we agreed to you going to maybe invest 5 million rand. And if a mistake happens that maybe it wasn't on the proposal that, oh no, now the investment now is 4.5. And if the client pays 4.5 million rand, that's not going to be pushed through. That
Because
case
it
is
didn't
going to
meet
come
up.
back.
Okay.
Exactly. So we need to make sure that everything is on par, and then it's submitted to QA. And if QA says everything is good to go, then yeah, the investment starts, and yeah.
Okay, that is proper. So do you see yourself growing in the role, or is it a thing of I want to do this and see where it takes me? Or yeah, what are your plans surrounding the role?
Surrounding the role is literally, I remember my current manager,
Sure.
my new manager, she asked me this questions like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah.
If you get this role, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I said, currently I did the wealth management course, and I also started my postgrad in financial planning last year,
Nice.
financial planning law. And I took a couple of modules, and I'm gonna finish it off next year, right?
Okay.
And I said I'd like to see myself finishing that qualification, getting my CFP designation, writing my boards for CFP,
Okay.
and possibly becoming a wealth manager. And I think, when you say stuff like that, I feel like God is listening, and God will put you in that exact position that you said you want to be in.
Sure.
Because now, working directly with a wealth manager, I feel like a wealth manager will have, wells of knowledge to give to me.
Yes.
Working alongside somebody that you aspire to be, I think
It's a privilege, and it's a big
privilege.
blessing.
It's a big blessing, and I don't take it for granted. And yeah, I'd like to become a wealth manager, and yeah, and there's also a lot of job prospects with the CFP designation.
Okay.
CFP. So you can become a portfolio manager, all of those things. There's so many things that you can do, and yeah.
Okay. So doesn't it I don't want to say bother you, but I'll use bother you for lack of a better word. Doesn't it bother you that your path right now is sort of moving completely away from your degree, your law degree, right? Doesn't it feel like, oh my God, like I could have just done finance, economics or something? why did I have to go through law?
You know what's funny? When I applied at UJ, BCom accounting was my second choice.
Okay.
And I remember registering for law, and then 2 weeks later, the accounting side was like, "Oh, you can come and register." And I was like, "Oh, but I'm that side anyways. I don't think I'm gonna." But looking at how things are going, it's like I'm going back.
Yes, you can't run away from purpose.
Exactly, because I have friends who also did accounting, and they're also in the wealth management space, financial planning space. So it's just like, I feel like it's a win.
Okay. A
Either
win is a
way.
win.
A win is a win,
Love that.
And, I don't regret anything.
Okay.
Because I feel like I enjoyed studying law.
Okay.
I feel like the skills that I learned while at varsity, I feel like law is a very respectable degree.
Yeah.
It's a profession that's,
I feel like they don't call us the noble profession
exactly.
for Mahala. It is quite a very noble. And I always say, for me, more than anything, even if I had to end up not in law necessarily, like in my full career and stuff, I will always appreciate the fact that more than anything, it built my character.
Yes.
Like, there's something about studying law. And whether you graduate average, you graduate cum, there is just something about it. It teaches you so many things. And I feel like more than anything, it helps you get in touch with your creativity. It helps you get in touch with self. It helps you even learn how to communicate with other people. Like, it's a whole, I feel like it's a character building degree. If you have character issues in law, you might just do better. And then in closing, oh no, before we close, like, people will judge me and say, why didn't you ask this question? The money, chalete. How sharp, or how does it work?
I'm a happy girl.
You're a happy girl. You're getting your coins.
Girl. I'm very happy girl. Like,
okay.
I remember when I saw my offer, I was like, huh? What? I couldn't believe it. I had to scroll up again and I looked at it and I'm like, wow.
You're a happy girl. If you don't mind, and you don't have to tell us your specific salary, but what range would a person be looking at if they were to be a wealth management analyst and a compliance administrator for both roles?
I think it'll depend with the institution that you're at. I think for me, starting off, I was ranging between 200 to 300.
Per annum. Okay.
And then now it's above. It's way above.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it ranges from your 3 to your 450.
Okay.
So it ranges, Okay. That's how it goes.
Oh, that is good. That is decent.
It is. And especially, I was looking at, with experience. I think it goes along with experience as well. They'll push you up.
Sure.
But I think for starting with experience that I do have, for me, it was like, oh, wow. Because other institutions will not give you that amount.
Yeah.
For only having, say, 2 years of experience. They want you to have 5 or whatever.
Or 10. But also, I feel like that's why we all want to go to your employer. Like, they are known for paying their employees great.
I also heard about it. And I'm like, when I saw my mom, I'm like, hey, people didn't lie.
No, like, I even know with, like, legal advisors and stuff, we're all fighting to go there because it's like the money is great, right?
I think they are one of the top employers to work for a reason.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's good. That's a very decent amount. So which means it's highly recommended. Don't take internships for granted. If you curious, interested, go for a wealth management course. You never know where it's going to land you. Financial planning courses, they can actually do you good. And then what is this season of your life called?
Season of my life is just... what word would I use? Gratitude. But also, the season has taught me to trust God.
Okay.
The season has taught me to always know that He is your Father. He loves you. He brought you into this world for a reason. And He means it when He says He has good plans for you. Ooh. So when you speak to Him, know that even though you feel like He's quiet, He's not quiet.
Ooh.
He's busy paving that way for you, And always have faith. I feel like for a lot of young people, we lack faith.
Sure.
And we lack spiritual discipline, For example, when you are studying at work, I mean, studying at school, you need to have discipline and you need to make sure that you do the things you need to do in order to get a specific result, right?
Sure.
A relationship with God is exactly the same thing. You need to be disciplined, how you pray, how frequently you speak to God. You know, do you follow his commandments? Are you living how he would want you to live?
Sure.
You know, they say seek his kingdom first and everything else will follow.
Love that.
And that's just pretty much it.
Okay. So basically, this season is a season of thankfulness
Yes, gratitude.
and trusting
Yes,
God.
and trusting God.
Love that. To a person at home, searching for their next opportunity, looking for a job, or just seated in a dark place, in a sentence or phrase, what would you say to them?
I think in a word, pray.
Oh, wow.
Pray.
Okay. Love that.
That's
Pray.
it. Pray. God will, when you speak to God and you pray to him, he will speak to you. I think the Holy Spirit will speak to you. You know, you'll wake up one morning and you'll have this feeling of, I remember for me when I got my internship, right? I remember being at Fruits and Veg in Newcastle and a lady in a car that was branded with the insurance company that I'd worked for. She popped up, right? And I was like, oh, wow, I wonder what it might be like to actually work for this company. Because she looked very well put together. And then by hook or crook, when I was searching, I got those internships from that insurance company. And for me, it's those little things.
Yes, the
you know?
details.
The things you don't see. For me, I feel like you don't meet certain people for just nothing.
Sure.
You don't see certain things for just nothing. God speaks to you through people. He speaks through you through things. You know? We take it lightly, but it's like, you know, even this company, I remember following them on LinkedIn. I just searched them and I followed them, right? And then when it happened that I got the job, I was like, oh, okay.
Makes sense why I was led there.
Why I was led there, you know, why I was led into the financial services industry. You know, it made sense. So, yeah, just pray.
Okay, love that. In closing, since we're here, what is your anchor scripture?
My anchor scripture is Jeremiah 29, verse 11.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow, love it as well. To everybody at home, I actually learnt so much. Thank you so much for honoring my invite.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's so beautiful having you. Enjoyed
Thank
myself
you.
so much. To everybody at home, I hope you learned so much. For me, the biggest takeaway from this episode is that it is important to understand that it's not every big thing that you must say yes to. It's not everything that glitters that is gold. Some things you are placed in them, not to say yes or to agree, but just to show you that there are things out there, but also there is better than that. You get what I mean? Anyway, do not forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And also, let me know who would you like to see next seated with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. God bless you. Bye.